Happy Friday, everybody. Morning, Volcron. Morning, KSRS.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. It's Friday.
Yay.
Morning, Sage.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Hey. Good morning.
Is my speakers working? It's so quiet here.
They are. I think we're all maybe getting our notes ready.
I think we got to invite Pablo to the stage.
You're here, Pablo.
Hey guys, good morning.
Good
How are you
morning.
guys? Everything good?
It's a nice day. At least where I am, there's fog. It's very pretty. Dramatic weather.
It's been raining here every single day, all week.
Nice weather. So, how's everyone in our audience? Let's see who's getting in. Channel Water. Welcome, guy. DubstepRod Citizen X. Let's see. Mewerva Yasin. I don't think I've seen you before. Mewerva Yasin. Hey Pixie, Magnum Opus, Ralph M. Hey guys. Let's see what's going on in Discord. Mixed bag of nuts. I always laugh when I see that. It's the list of players. Thanks for coming to the AMA.
Yeah, listen to him. No start this week, right?
Sorry?
He posted, "Be nice to me. No snarky this week." You guys can be as snarky as you want. We'll just ignore you.
Let's see. Aaron, 1050. Welcome to the AMA. Coordinator, Cyber Fox Sky, and Joaquin. We have a Joaquin in the team. Joaquin Reams. Hey, man. Giwara, Andrea, Basilio. Ninja Surprise is not joining us today. He has a little emergency. But our very own Farmer Michelle is hosting today. So, hey, Farmer Michelle, how are you? You haven't
I'm
hosted one of these
good.
in a while.
I know. It's always nice to pretend to be Townstar for a bit.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Do we have everyone on stage? Kesera's here. Fulcrum. Yeah, I think that's
I
it.
think so.
Okay. Let's see. So, welcome to the July 7th AMA. You know, we've been doing this AMA since July last year. So I think we're getting very close to a year. We need to share what's going on with everyone, answer questions, share news, what's going on with the community, with the team, and features, of course, on leaks. So welcome everybody. Farmer Michelle, what is in our headlines this week?
Oh, looks like Case Ross Ross probably going to lead us off with an update on what rewards have been sent and where we're at and all that.
Happy Friday, everyone. Before I move on, how do I sound? Do I sound right this time?
You do, at least to
I'd say
me.
you sound okay, but get a little closer to the mic if you can.
Yeah, a little
Okay.
quiet still. A little quiet and talk a little slower.
Okay. How about now? I'm hoping this is a lot better.
I didn't hear a change.
Closer, man. Closer.
Okay. My phone is right next to my face right now. This means I need to get new AirPods. Okay, I'll work on that.
What I found is using no AirPods and just holding the mic up to my mouth. Seriously.
Let me just do that.
Okay, can we play some elevator music in the meantime? No? Nobody?
No.
I can start now. So about the rewards, last time
Wait. First off, that's much better.
Okay.
Right, guys?
Yes, much better.
Yes.
Yes, keep it up.
No more talking in a pillow.
Okay. Okay, so coming to rewards, I think the last time we sent out rewards was on 16th or the 28th of June. We are working on getting the achievement and competition rewards out today. So if everything goes right, you should receive the next batch today itself. I think that's all I have right now on rewards. Back to you, Michelle.
Awesome. Let's see. This is just your weekly reminder that the town burn for Gala will be ending mid-September, right about September 15th. So if you have not done that yet or need help figuring out how to do it, reach out to me and I will remind you and walk you through it. But get it done if you haven't done it already. September 15th, that's when it ends. We don't have a social media update today because Ninja Surprise is not here, so we'll do that next week instead. Let's move on
Wait.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'll move on to game updates, but Ninja Surprise is not here. As I said before, it's an emergency, but he was working on a Threads account. You guys know Threads is like the new Meta or Facebook/Meta competitor to Twitter. So Ninja Surprise will give us the details throughout the week and next AMA, but apparently he's growing that account for the game, attracting more people. So I think that's really cool. If you want to check it out, we'll post the link at some point. So yeah, there's a new account for Townstar in the new social media. It's available. Regarding game updates, so a couple notable fixes this week. You guys for letting us know last week that we had that issue with NFT storages. At first, we didn't know exactly what was going on, but our amazing Bullcron and a couple of engineers checked it out, and they did find the issue. Very small issue, but when it compounds, it grows larger. So we addressed this issue for a big amount of general purpose or meta relevant storages first. We'll get that fixed in for all the rest of the NFT storages if needed. But I can tell you that the NFT storage slowness is fixed for the following buildings, which is Big Warehouse, Big Storehouse, Ground Silo, Diamond Warehouse, Big Pantry, Luxury Mineral Storage, Luxury Oakwood Storage, and Supreme Storehouse. So we focused on those things. We believe that those were more critical to the competition. So that's why we started with those. It takes a little time to fix them and then test them. That's why we did a couple first. Then we did another fix for the Trinity Gemworks, which will now only take out the earrings that they need. There was an issue with that before, but we fixed it very quickly. Of course, we turn off fast forward. As you know, we have that exploit that we needed to fix. We have an update on that later. And an update that is coming very, very, very soon is related to fireworks. So I'm not sure if we'll get that out today or Monday, but fireworks are coming to the game. I was hoping to have them by July 4th. Sadly, we had to check them, make sure they were working, but they are coming, guys. So we have the fixing for them. Then other changes this week include a new starter town. You guys saw it in the new competition. It's a starter town that has no farming stuff. Instead, that was replaced by power house and ore storage that included 10 copper, if I'm not mistaken, and a copper panning site. Also, we added the chandelier earrings redo competition, and that all went out this week. So a bunch of changes, fixes, and really cool stuff. I really enjoy seeing that starter town be so different from the original one. So what's coming next, Michelle?
I believe that Volcron is going to talk about Fast Forward a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Got my coffee in my throat there. Yeah, Fast Forward testing, as we know, there were some questions about the stars and everything last week. Turned out to be a good thing because it highlighted something that affected not just fast forwarding, but just multiplayer in general. And I'm looking at the list here, there are 13 or so tasks to fix that. They're pretty much all done. They're either in code review or they've passed code review at this point. Yeah, so basically, I don't want to get too much, I don't want to give people, ideas, but one of the optimizations we made, there was a way to get around it as a player, and you could run your town twice in two browsers. Please don't do that. That's not going to work out in your favor. We can see it, when somebody has two logins and then they have trade completes from both. Like, it's very clear to us that you're doing that, so please don't. But also, what was happening for the fast forward, it was also subject to that. So what we've done is we've improved the back end. I think last week I mentioned that we were going to improve our prod like local setup, and what that means is, when you're playing the game in production, you've got all these servers and load balancers and firewalls and all this interesting tech between you as the player and the game or the server and the databases and everything. If you've ever done any dev work or worked on teams that do, it's kind of hard to make the internet simulated on your local dev machine. So sometimes bugs slip through. But our backend guys made tremendous tech achievement this week. Kind of blew me away in terms of replicating what we have out there in live locally. Basically built a mini cloud on our dev machines. And so they've been working with the front end guys to fix these scenarios. What it means to the players is that more fair play, more security, more kicking you out of the first browser when you sign into the second. So I'm pretty excited to see that change go in. And once that's fully tested, then we will turn back on the fast forward feature. So it's very clear what the problem was. We've replicated it, and it's very clear what the fix is, and it's in test. So if anybody has questions or anything, let me know.
Yeah, let's check Farmer Michelle. Do we have any questions?
I don't see any live questions about Fast Forward in the chat. Anyone out there in Discord got any questions for Volcron about Fast Forward?
Billy had one. Oh, sorry, that was about the fireworks NFT. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess the fireworks NFT and fast forward and everything else, as a player, it's probably hard to differentiate, like, how much of this feature is the Godot engine and how much is, the Townstar engineering team. It kind of comes down to the feature, but in general, our networking is 80% ours and 20% the Godot engine. Billy says, any more test competitions for fast forward? Oh, I don't know. I think we'll probably just go straight live. Christopher, do we look at having fast forward possibly for the next comp? That's our goal. Testing the fixes out today, so we'll know by Monday. Yeah, it's a big feature, right? It's so important for mobile and just for people who can't sit at their computer all day or don't have electricity. We realize it. We're real excited about that feature. So Fast forward and
So we're expecting
oh, sorry.
Fast Forward to be out when? I think that's the question.
Well, I mean, the goal is Monday to get it in QA's, or late today to get it in QA's hands. We just have to, yes, SageMaker, we're testing it now, hoping to get it ready for QA by the end of the day. And then hopefully over the weekend and Monday, we can really harden it and make sure we've addressed all the issues.
Awesome. So we're aiming for before the next competition. So that's awesome.
Yes. And Billy, yeah, please not straight to live. My family calls me Captain Safety, and I'm sure that comes out. Sometimes some of our teammates are probably like, hey, maybe we don't. Jason, just calm down. But yes, we don't YOLO it. So we want to get it through as safely as possible, Billy. So yeah, I think that's it for Fast Forward.
Yeah, I see people asking about the leaderboard and its ability to update. I get these questions a lot during the week, and players want to know how or why the leaderboard won't be accurate constantly once Fast Forward is running.
Yeah, that's a good one. The good question to bring up. There was a disconnect between the reconciliation between what was in the leaderboard versus what's in your town. That was fixed 6 or 7 days ago, I think. So that's in test. I don't know if that's going out in today's release, though. I think that's still being tested. And then the method by which we save the leaderboard actually is being improved. When you work in like a banking or even just a checking account system, you have transactions, right? So we have to improve the transactions through which trades happen so that every trade has a unique ID, that if it, once it starts, it's locked into the database and it has to have a conclusion. So kind of redoing that architecture a little bit and making it more better, so that, I don't know if that really answers the question, but yeah, there were definite shortcomings in the way the leaderboard was updated, and we're looking to get these through QA as well.
Yeah, I think like Seahorse just said in the chat, the community is curious why it's not going to be constantly updating second by second while Fast Forward is active, because people's towns are offline, so that it's not going to be able to update their points while the town is offline.
Yeah, that's okay. Cool. Yeah. So there's the perception, some people think when the town is playing offline that we have a server running your town unattended at the same rate. That's not the case, and that's why we kind of nicknamed the feature Fast Forward. You can imagine if a million people play the game and 900,000 of them log out. If, let's say, 100,000 of those people never come back, why would we keep running their town forever, right? So instead, what happens is when you come back to your town, it figures out how much time has passed, and then it literally runs the game loop as, fast forwards it. So is it too much for the leaderboard? Yeah. Right. So that question about how do we reconcile that architecture with the fact that people want to see leaderboards updated? Well, we have a couple ways of thinking about it. One of them that we're talking about right now is the recurring offline processing. We know that people who are playing the competition a lot are obviously going to come back. And so there's this idea of how do we optimize the number of players as towns that we just fast forward for them before they've logged out so that the leaderboards are updated. So there's a few different engineering approaches to that, and we're thinking about it. It relies on a couple cloud-based things we have to implement, but yeah, that's an important part of us because we know that the leaderboard's important too.
Super. Hopefully that answers everybody's questions about Fast Forward and the leaderboards. Let's move on. We've got what's coming up next for the game.
What's coming up next? Okay, so we have time of day. We have shown a couple times. I won't show it this time. I think it's better for you guys to see it yourself. So that's going out very soon. I think that it's in final testing, so probably early next week we'll be able to see it. We're checking older devices to see that it's not affecting them. As of now, we haven't seen it really change performance too much or at all. So that's our main concern, to make sure that we're not screwing people with older devices. But it looks really good. It's something that really makes the town pop and look amazing. So that's the first thing. The next thing that we're working on is mobile. As we discussed last week, we have, let me see, I'm going to put it here. Townstar. So we have an engineer working very hard on mobile browser optimization for the game. We want the game to run great on your Android or iOS devices first in the browser, and eventually we want to get to mobile apps. So we have done a lot of changes. We're doing some UI changes to how placing things works or panning works compared to PC to accommodate better to play on the phone. And as you can see in the video that I just posted, time of day is actually running there. You can place things. There's a button for confirmation. So there's differences here between the mobile version and the actual version that you used to in the computer. But it looks great, and probably gonna be out at some point next week. These fixes. So if you are someone who was expecting to play the game in mobile, I think this is great news for you guys. So please check that video out. You see more items on mobile than on computer. Yeah, that's scaling stuff and how the store shows. But we definitely want mobile to be a priority, not only for us, for Townstar, but for Gala as a whole. And all the games in the ecosystem and everything in it, mobile should be a priority, and we're trying to get there as soon as possible. So please be on the lookout for that. The other thing we're working on is some basic FTUE, because we know that the game being in mobile will probably attract more people, especially within that. Can we get landscape sample? So this is something important. That is a test from 2 days ago that I showed in the video. This is a question from Aluya Pop. Can we get landscape sample? We're forcing the game to work on landscape due to different issues. It doesn't work properly in portrait. So you will only actually play it in landscape. When you have it in portrait that way, you will have an overlay that says, hey, you need to tilt your phone. Because it creates some UI and UX issues. So the game will run in landscape in your phone, in your mobile browser. So thanks for that question. Is it live? No, it's not live. It's going to be out next week. So with our incursion into mobile, we know that some people will come into the game probably new to the game. So we're working on ways to capitalize on that and make the experience a little simpler. We're probably going to add a couple of pop-ups, probably redirecting to guides and like, hey, you need to be mindful of cash, you need to be mindful of gas, and those kind of things. So we're working with our amazing PM El Jefe in that, so we can get that in the pipeline right after mobile is out. So that's what's coming up next immediately for the game. Farmer Mitchell?
Sweet. Does anyone have any questions about any of that stuff before we move on to a Q&A? I guess we could just jump right into the first question since we'll already be answering questions. The first question I have is, will Townstar someday be accessible via Android or iOS and be able to experience good graphics and be light to play?
So as we just mentioned, this is something that we're working on right now. So will it be accessible via Android or iOS? Yes, we're actually checking both. For example, there's we encounter a funny issue in iOS in the Safari browser that everything would look white. Like you could see the buildings and everything, but everything looked white. And we thought, oh man, how do we why is this different here than in Android? And in the end, it was that iOS was outdated. So an update to iOS fixed the issue. We didn't have to do anything game side. Um, so it's coming along great. And experience good graphics and be light to play. We're working on both those things. Someone is asking about can we select low resolution graphics? We also have a plan for that, but not right now. I mean, our main priority is to get it out, and after that, if we don't see potatoes melting, we'll push it out, and after that, we'll immediately start working on toggles for it. So we have plans for toggles like high res, low res, or disabling in a couple of days, potentially disabling time of day, and a couple other things, if those things affect your performance. So the short answer to Android and iOS is probably next week.
Well, that's exciting. Let's see. The next question I have here says, when will the focus be on existing metas and buildings instead of new buildings and metas each week?
Let me take that one. I think there are two parts to this question. One is that right now, at least recently, the things have been very dynamic. And that the second part is when will we have competitions and metas around the existing content in the game. So let me try and answer both of them. First, let me just say sorry. Sorry for what happened with the fishing content. I think we really screwed up. We made so much awesome content and then we only used it for 2 weeks. Like in hindsight, that was really stupid. Like we should have focused on it for a while. And we don't want to do that again. And like also we don't want to sell you a platinum seaweed stand that can only be used for 2 weeks. That's why we will be focusing on jewelry for a while. All the new things that we have added, like I hope someday to you they will seem just as much a part of game as farming or lumberjacks do. There's no reason why we cannot have more metals in the future that can be panned and can be crafted in forges. Instead of crafting jewelry, we can craft something else with them. So, yes, talking about these metas and especially the part about how things have been very dynamic. Look, we are originally we actually had almost 12 different metas planned, but after listening to feedback, we have decided to actually reduce those metas. And right now, we are considering that maybe we can actually reuse some of the metas. For example, after 1 week, we could very well just redo chandelier earrings. Let us know what you think of that. Other than that, as I mentioned earlier, we will try to introduce connections with the existing stuff. There will be glass beads, wool in the future, and a few other things. And look, right now we do have 3 months of content planned, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all of that has to come all at once. Like we can sprinkle some other things in the middle. We can have more vanilla competition once in a while. So we are still figuring that part out. So give us some time on that. I hope that answers the questions. Let me know if you need any more clarification on it.
Awesome. Does anyone out there have any questions about that? I don't see any questions. I don't see any question marks.
I see I715 saying redoing a meta will be fine, but there has to be a twist or it'll be boring. He actually says boring. So I think that that's kind of what we did with the redo of the chandelier earrings competition. We had an initial started town and then we completely changed it to the redo. And I got some great comments on that. But also a couple of people concerned, like, oh no, it needs to be exactly what it was last time. What do you guys think? Is it okay to do some changes when we do redos of a competition? Maybe tweak the town, maybe tweak some values or cash boosted items. What do you guys think?
At least for chandelier earrings, it should be more interesting again because now we are introducing Foundry and one more new in-game building next week. So your board should change a little bit.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Gesera. I see some comments on it. So, new ingredients. I was fine with the last earrings change. I don't find it fun using an identical build I already use. Okay. New biome at least made it more fun for me. Okay, sounds like in general people like a little bit of a variety. Maybe not completely changing it, but you know, change a couple parameters. Thank you guys. Thank you for your feedback.
All right, the next question that I have here is long, so bear with me. Says, can you provide more detail on how proximity effects on the subgrid are supposed to work? I've looked at the equation in FAQ and it doesn't seem to work. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the rest of it because it's very intricate. But does anyone want to talk about proximity effects?
I sure do. I made some animated images for this. I made a little Photoshop. Let's see where to start. I'll start with something I'm going to paste some images. Let me set this down. Can you still hear me okay? Does sound farther away? Am I right?
I can still hear you fine.
Okay. So let's start with, I'm going to paste into Discord Proximity Town. So here we have the corner of the map with one little pond. We all know the immediate tiles get 2, the ones around it get 1. But the question is, since we have these subgrid or this free placing buildings, how does that work when something overlaps it? And the TLDR is we round up. We count the subgrids and we round it up. So let me show you what that means. Just provide one here. So this is a building that is, it's got a 3x4 it's got a 4x4 footprint of the tiny little subtiles, and 3x4 of that are on a value of 2 water effects, and the remaining stripe is a 1. So the final value for a building going there, it would round up to receive a value of 2 from the pond. Let me show a couple of, I know people like numbers. Well, hold on now, Jetty, hold on. Let me show you some numbers. So in the diagonal that you're talking about, which I'll share a GIF to explain it, it will round. So for example, if the diagonal only uses the 2, the little 2x2 grid there, it's going to round down to 1, right? So this, now if there are cases where, and I tested this pretty thoroughly yesterday just to make sanity check, but if you are seeing cases where it's rounding in the wrong direction, rounds to 0, rounds to 1, when it should be rounding up to 2 or whatever, let me know. We will definitely look at that. Let me see if I can actually save this. But you guys get it right, like that. I feel like that's pretty clear. So yeah, if there's any other questions, let me know. But I'll pull up this animated image and paste it in there as soon as I find it.
The only question I see so far says, do you round up for good effects and down for bad effects? I'm pretty sure we round up for all effects, be it shade, pollution, or like wheat.
Yeah, if it's a 1.50000, we round up to 2. Boney Chill. Yeah, it's a deep question. He doesn't get the reason for the grids. Well, not every building is always going to be an exact square, right? And we want to have these cute little decorations as well. So if you're a town, for example, if you scroll up to that image I pasted, you can see you can get the effect of 2. And if you're never going to place more than 1 around there and you leave yourself a little stripe of those tiny little subgrids, you could fill them with sunflowers or whatever, right? So yeah, I get it. It's like we all want to optimize our towns and all that, but sometimes we do have room to stick some things in there, or at least on my towns. Maybe I should show you a screenshot of one of my towns later.
think Icebox called it out. If there were smaller buildings. Interesting idea. What do you think, Que Sera?
So interesting. We have some already, right?
Yes, we have started experimenting that with NFTs. They are actually a lot cooler looking decoration size NFTs coming very soon. We can consider maybe adding in-game buildings that can do that as well.
Well, the arcane earrings that we saw, they are 1/4 by 1/4, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, 1/4 by 1/4. Yeah.
So expect to see more of that in the future, guys.
There's like someone with a mechanical keyboard typing there.
Oh, so sorry. I was responding to Rayville. Sorry.
I'm gonna jump in. Who is it? Somebody said, "Can you?" Sorry, it scrolled up already. Who was that? ETC. Could you please address whether there will be another secondary coin for Townstar? Last week, you guys said you were looking at Silk as a good pilot to get ideas from. Actually, we weren't looking at Silk. We were looking at Spider Tanks. And Spider Tanks does have a secondary currency there, much like our original Town coin. We're still figuring that out. No new news on that. When we have it, we will share it. But that's part of the new earnings thinking. And so don't take this as speculation. Don't be like, oh my God, Sage, there's a new currency. No, that's absolutely not true. I am specifically not saying that. What I'm saying is we're learning the lessons from Spider Tanks, just like we learn the lessons from all the other different economies that we have either in the works or already implemented, like Townstar. I think I mentioned in the past to some folks that for my calculation, we're on the 4th or 5th generation of economy systems across the company, going all the way back to very, very early Townstar when it was released. So we're always going to keep updating that.
Awesome. Any other live questions here from the chat before we move on?
No, we should move on. We need to get to the leaks.
All right, looks like we're moving on to Que Sera, who's going to talk about some NFTs and how we design them.
Yes, I think I already talked a little bit about this. But yes, going forward, we will be designing metas and sales together. Like any NFT should remain viable for at least a few weeks, if not for months, for the competitions, if not afterwards as well. Yeah, so you should expect that most NFTs that we are coming up with, they should be useful for most of the jewelries metas, if not the ones afterwards as well. And yeah, I think that's yes. Yes, going back to you, Michelle. I'll think on what else I wanted to add.
All right, let's move on to leaks then. We got any art leaks? It's always a good place to start.
Oh yeah, that's me. Thanks, guys. Sorry, I was too busy looking at all the comments there. Yeah, I've got some cool stuff to share. Put my face closer to the microphone so you can hear that. But actually, come back to me in a minute. Skip past me because I want to pull something up that's pretty cool looking. 1 second.
Well, we're skipping everybody. Let's move on to competition rewards.
I think that's me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So you guys have been playing the redo of the Chandelier Earrings competition, but if I'm not wrong, we haven't really announced the reward yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle.
We said what it was going to be for, but that's really it.
Got it. So this is somewhere where I want to show not only what the reward is, but a little change that we're making. So we are making a change, kind of discontinuing ghost cards, and we're moving on to a new thing that should be a little more broad. Like for example, in the new concept, all buffs will be utility centric, but they may impact more than just craft speed bonuses, or even more than one type of building. So since we're making that change, we're introducing blueprints. So I'm putting that here in the chat. New reward. Blueprints. Is it showing in Discord?
Yes, yes, it is.
Got it. So, blueprints. The first one. First of all, please take a moment to appreciate our very own Wana Gent's art. He's our amazing artist that does all of the NFTs art, all the Ghost Card art, everything you see in the store and then in OpenSea. That comes from Wana Gent. So thank you, man. And you're probably listening. So thanks for all the work you do for Townstar. So yeah, we're moving away from ghost cards into blueprints. This is going to be the first reward, and the first one will be blueprint crafty copper pan inside. So the first time we're keeping it very simple, just as a segue from ghost card to blueprints, but it will provide a craft speed boost to copper for the copper pan inside building. Right. The cool thing about this, though, is that from future ones, especially from next week competition, you can see more changes compared to ghost cards. Like as I said before, maybe they affect more than one type of building, or they can do a couple of other actions. So rarities for these things just are standard. So expect uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, platinum, luxury. With some modifications to the impacted percentage or how much they boost things. And in the future, we may introduce other rarities, but for now, we're keeping it very simple. They look really cool. You can see that amazing art of rotating assets of what they're affecting. And yeah, expect that as the competition for the reward for the current competition. So that's the introduction of blueprints, guys. I hope you really like them.
And we will have very different and different effects than ghost cards used to have. Expect very new ones coming out soon.
Thanks, Casera. Farmer Michel, what's next?
I just shared a
I
bunch of
think.
art.
Oh,
I
did
shared.
you?
Let's talk about art.
Yes.
A couple of images posted there. I slammed them all out at once so that I could just talk through them rather than being kind of trying to post them and then talk at the same time. First one, NPC guidelines. We've talked about this before, and a lot of people, I've seen some of the images we've posted. We've got a lot more work going on there, but this is our team's view. Just give you a little behind the scenes on some of the changes. You can see the old and the new face there, the guidelines that we're handing to the external house on how to get the faces right, keep enough detail, but not do too much detail that you can't see when they're at the game size. Next image, just more of the new art style in a test build of the game. We're going to be working very hard to get that test build previewable. We'll see when that can come true. Then the rest is just, the concept sketches that we've done of a number of remaining NFTs there. Milk storage rare, wasabi, uncommon mixing tent and peppermint storage there. The work continues on that. And once again, because everybody asked the question, art is parallel to code. Volcron does not do any art, and Gina Bobina does not do any code. So it's okay if the art team works on this stuff while other things like fast forwarding and stuff is getting worked on. And earnings is also parallel to that or separate. So a lot of things happening on art. And that's the art update.
Awesome. Thank you. It does seem like people get confused often. They think for some reason that our artists are also our coders. Those are different people, guys. They are different people. I think that we're moving on into the next meta. Does anybody want to know what the next meta is? All right. So the next competition meta is going to be bracelets. So there's two new crafts coming into the game. We've got a lobster clasp and a bracelet. The lobster clasp is going to require 1 copper jump ring, 1 silver jump ring, and a silver wire. The basic craft time for that is going to be 20 seconds. It's going to go up to 160 seconds. It's going to be made at the jewelry crafting table, so it'll be affected by dirty. And the bracelet will require 8 copper jump rings, 4 silver jump rings, and a lobster clasp. And that craft time is going to start at 150 seconds and go up to 1,200 seconds, also affected by dirty because it's made at the jewelry crafting table. I believe the foundry is also coming into the game this week, as far as I know. So that will craft copper jump rings and silver jump rings, which is the same as what the jewelry crafting table does currently, except that it goes straight from copper or silver and avoids the wire mill step. So the copper jump ring at the foundry will require 2 copper and a silica, and the silver jump ring at the foundry will require 2 silver and a silica. The foundry will also have a 10% craft speed buff to any forges that are within a 1 tile radius of it, and it will not require a road to place, so you can surround it by forges if you'd like to. No road, just super cool. I will get an announcement with all that information out right after the end of the AMA. And does anyone have any questions?
I posted the competition card and text, so you can check there the title, the description, how it looks. That will be in the game very soon.
Yeah, that game update should be coming right after the end of the competition, correct? Relatively soon after. What else do we have left here on our agenda? I think just sale items. A quick reminder that the free NFT for playing for the month of June was copper ore storage. I'm not 100% sure the ETA on when that will be sent, but I would imagine within the next couple weeks. They're usually sent about halfway through the month, so we're getting pretty close to that point. And the one for July will be a silver ore storage. So if you want that rare one, keep playing. Play every day. Let's move on to sale stuff.
Yes, before I get into sales, I actually had a part plan. Like I've been playing the game a lot this week. I had shared my no NFT build earlier, and I wanted to share it again. I would love to see what you guys think. Give me a second. Yes, this is what I started with. This I shared last weekend, and people gave very helpful feedback. I was able to get to 43, 44 with the no NFTs. The feedback was actually around building more roads, which I did. I was actually able to improve this to up to 46. Right now, I'm actually participating in the competition. I kind of forgot before starting the competition that how competitive I was. Like I just kept trying to improve my build again and again and again during the competition. Let me show you what I actually have currently. I ended up at around 48. And I know I could have taken it up to 58 with the Miranda skins. I would have taken it up to almost 65, 66 with the epic earrings. But I just never had the time. Hopefully next time. I am still actually constantly trying to improve this build. I would love to see what the best builds might be out there right now. And if you had any feedback on how I can improve in this specific board, I would love to know about it. Please do DM me those things. Coming to the sale items. This week, we have the Coppersmith and the Master Coppersmith. Think of them just like so think of Coppersmith as just like the foundry. It's there to help you craft jump rings and other things, but it also there to help your forges. So a Coppersmith will be able to craft copper parts with fewer raw materials and faster than others. She can also set up shop anywhere, so she will not have an edge requirement. Let us know what you think of that. And it will reduce the crafting time of copper in forges by 20% in surrounding tile. Here are all the details. It's gonna be an epic. The pricing would be 170, but it will be discounted by almost 30% for 48 hours and then 20% before the competition ends. Next up, we have the Master Coppersmith. As you can imagine, a Master Coppersmith is a much cooler version of the Coppersmith, but it's a lot more than that. Just like the Coppersmith, she can craft any copper part with fewer raw materials and faster, but she will also provide one passive copper to all your foundries and wire mills. Like I know at this point you must be thinking, wow, that is way too OP. And yes, you are right. Like if we did that, it would probably increase your production by upwards of 60 to 70%. That's just too OP. So we added a debuff on it. It will also increase the crafting time in your foundries and wire mills by 25%. That should bring it in line. It can very well increase your production from 30, I would say 25 to even over 40, depending on how you have your town setup. It will be priced at 625, discounted by 30% for 48 hours, and then by 20% until the competition ends. I think that's about all I have.
Okay, thank you, man. Wait, you show your amazing town. Can you show that again?
Yeah, that was actually really impressive.
Can you paste it again? Oh, that looks good, but I've seen better. Someone in the team had a better thing to show.
Oh,
Who was it?
I was asking everybody if they wanted to see it. I posted it a second ago in there. I don't know, people. I feel like it should be a winning town strategy. It doesn't.
Look at all over you are selling.
So where is it? Show us your town, man.
Oh, I pasted it in there a second ago. Here, I'll reply to it. Enjoy.
Okay, okay. I thought that you guys were not. I thought you guys were being serious. Okay, so that's a shitty town. Sorry to say, but thank you, Vulcan, for sharing.
He's just starting it.
He thinks that's a winning strategy. So I see Canberra's town. That looks interesting too. Looks great. So, okay. So just to recap, guys, we're coming up to the end of the AMA. We're not missing anything, right, Farmer Michelle?
The only other thing I wanted to say is that I'm going to be making a survey this weekend, so there'll probably be a big survey coming out either Monday or Tuesday, so be on the lookout.
Got it. So survey coming next week. And just a recap, we're expecting Fast Forward to be on before next competition. Expect an update today for the bracelet competition. That should be in casual mode. Sorry. Working on mobile, hoping to get it out. You can probably play on mobile next week. Another thing that's potentially going next week is time of day. So that looks really cool. And of course, the sale items Monday will be the Epic Coppersmith and the Platinum Master Coppersmith, which gifts that I just shared, which look amazing, by the way. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And also, of course, the introduction of blueprints. Expect some new functionality from blueprints soon. Those are phasing out ghost cards.
I just wanted to mention one more thing before we end.
Sure.
Yes, please do expect changes. Like, we are still in the middle of releasing the new content. That's why we have not done the changes yet. But by next Friday or the Friday after that, there will be some balance changes. For example, I can tell you that your forges will cast 2 dirty instead of 3. Your jewelry tables will not be as badly impacted by dirty as they currently are. They will still be, but not as badly. Your forges will not require lumber anymore to craft, and there will be a few more changes as well. We'll post them all as soon as we have them.
Awesome. Thank you for that update. So with that, we're at the end. Are there any outstanding questions, Farmer Michelle, from the community? Do we see any questions regarding what we said today in Discord?
Sorry, I was muted. No, I don't see any questions right now that are really demanding. If anyone does have any questions, please use the form or tag me and we can find you an answer. Yeah, I think we're probably good.
Let's see. Well, there's one here. Peace of Mind saying, question if one more earring competition, the who can change copper to bricks shape so we can see different difference between ore. Or you're talking about changing the visuals of the ores? I think that's in the works, right, guys?
Yeah, that should already be started.
Okay, so yeah, they will look different. Sorry if there was some confusion with how similar they look, but that will be fixed pretty soon. To NFT font and layout, plans to implement smaller fonts. That's an interesting question. I don't think we've discussed that, but yeah, that's great feedback. Thank you so much. Peace of mind. Any other questions before we go? We have a couple minutes.
I see someone asking about the commemorative NFT for that first beta comp. I don't think that any work has really been done on it yet, so we'll get there. And as soon as I have an ETA for you, I'll let you know.
So, Michelle, let's follow up on that. We want to make good on our promises, so let's make sure that we have that in our trackers.
Yep.
So thank you guys for reminding us. Is there any way to ask the Townstar team to hold NFT and non-NFT competitions? So right now we don't have the tech to limit NFTs inside a competition. It's something that we would need to include. We can do no reward competitions like we've done before, but that's an interesting question. We did want to do, you know, like maybe a different challenge for a competition would be you can only use this subset of NFTs or something like that. And we are expecting to do more changes to how competitions work soon. But now we've been working on, you know, fast forward, mobile, those kind of things, like getting the game to be playable in more devices and be more effective to what it is. So definitely more plans for competitions in the future, including changes to how starter towns work. So that's something that I want to do. Okay, I think that's good. So thank you guys for coming to the July 7th AMA. Thank you everyone for coming. Let's see who's still here. DeFi Krypton, MMEE, Sopian, Nickel Apex, Dancy Silendra. Sorry for butchering that name, man or girl. Zach, Ultimate Asset, Rich Game, Mr. Trooport. Thank you guys for coming. Alpha, Big B, Survivor. I see one Jeff, but I'm not gonna say hello, man. Nah, I'm kidding. You're amazing. Your art is great. Thank you, man. Griffy, God Girl, and of course everyone on stage. Thank you for coming and talking about the different things going on in the game. Talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.